Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with a new series, second run through of Bastion. So it is time to start a new game plus, as it were. We have played the entire game through once, and now we want to do new game plus, which means all the structures, spirits, idols are unlocked, and all weapons and XP from the last game carry over. So if you haven't watched the first series, this isn't really going to help you that much. You should go back and watch the first episode, watch it in order, really. It's iterative, as it were. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're starting the new series. Your existing game will be lost. Okay. Now I'm gonna get into spoiler territory.
I'll see you in the next one. Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky.
So, we just got some new audio there. When he said, I'll see you in the next one, that is a direct reference to the previous playthrough. At the end of the last game, we chose to go back in time, or either go back in time or use the Bastion to somehow recreate a backup copy of a certain save state, as it were, of their world. And so now we are either the same person who's been taken back in time, or we are a restored copy of the person that we were playing as the first time. I think for story for dialogue, we have to assume that we did go back in time. I do have at least some fuzzy memories of that, because I just heard him say, I'll see you in the next one. And the Calamity happened anyways. We risked everything at the end of the last run, hoping that we could restore it and that somehow the Calamity wouldn't happen. But it must have. We chose wrong, I suppose. We have to assume that much. We have to assume that we chose wrong, that going back in time, nobody learned anything or remembered anything, so the exact same events happened. And so we're waking up on the Wailing Walls again, and the calamities occurred.
He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble. Ground forms up under his feet as it point the way. He don't stop to wonder why.
So
finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road.
We probably are the only one that remembers, so let's try and change things this run. Let's take the other options. Let's do things differently.
Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls, years of work undone in an instant, in the Calamity.
I think the recorded session here,
That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Kid pops him good. Starts to feel his bruises, though.
So, see, I took no damage, but the game makes me take damage. We want fragments, and as we can see, we already have 1,000 from the last game. We want more.
Kid just rages for a while.
If we're gonna get more, we're gonna play this with at least a few of the...
An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do.
Because I want to as much XP and as much
gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber.
Mike, look how upgraded my repeater is.
Kid's worked up quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink.
The thing that's strange is we will collect the mementos.
Kid finds a memento from a girl he knew.
Gets us XP.
Always used to fancier. A school of squirts tunnels up around him.
It doesn't work in the story, but the fact that Ruggs is white-haired and looks very much like an older version of the boy was certainly a theory of mine when first playing the game, that he was the
it's a wonder the old saloon's still standing.
But
used to have the nicest view.
Only way that would really work in the story is if this boy has been living and going through the cycle and aging somehow, and so an old version. I mean, there's just no real story or dialogue that easily explains how that could be.
He sets foot inside one of Celandia's famous watering holes. Wait, haven't I? Anyway, Rondé's place just brings back memories.
So, he's remembering. This is very
then
cool.
Kid finds his trusty shield.
It's very cool that the dialogue now, he's remembering that we've done this before. So I suppose in theory you could just very much play this New Game Plus over and over again. I don't think the third time through it's going to...
The security takes him for a petty thief. Special delivery. Gas fellas. Windbags start turning up for last call.
All these bottles.
More squirts start coming out of the woodwork. A big old fella pops out in front of the kid.
Look how overpowered I am. This is probably why they didn't want to let you go back to the levels at the first. But if you're so overpowered, if the weapons are upgraded...
Kid sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop.
So, as part of the first run, I made a specific effort not to smash these. My thinking was that there might be a way to go through the whole game and not smash these, and that maybe going back in time we would bring them back to life, and it would be respectful and nice to do this. But you know what? It didn't work. These are the idiots. It's not any of their individual's fault that the calamity happened, but it's all of their fault. It's partially my fault, it's partially everyone's fault in a society when societies do horrible things, because whoever was in charge was allowed to be in charge because of everybody else.
Rondé always wanted his ashes scattered here.
So I'm not going to respect these ashes. I'm going to smash them. I'm going to move forward and accept what's happened and let go of the past.
He gets a good look at things on his way down. He
Not
lands on top of a
really,
breaker's bow, and it ain't broke.
but just out of acceptance. Although,
Kid spies a good perch for some target practice. He knows he should draw the string all the way back.
That stinks. Took good damage. Why not? Get a fountain. So we're gonna get
the kid pockets a memento from a breaker. Once the fastest man in the land.
But the weapons are already upgraded. So that was like 50 XP. So it's definitely worth it to keep.
Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid.
If I get power shots, do I get more fragments? This is very much going to be about getting fragments.
Picks up a few pointers from a dusty old tome. Wasn't long before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true.
We used to have to do power shots. It doesn't really matter now. I could just shoot as fast as I
He finds the distillery, right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man.
Alright, so we are level 6. We never even got to use the level 6 ability. One chance to carry on. That's another continue. Health tonics plus 2 health tonics. Gain some health when you counter block. %, damage reduction. Automatically retaliate. Life wine. Survive a deadly attack. Gain some health by striking foes. Do I want to change this one now? See, I'd like to have fetching fist. It's just not realistic. There's so many other of these tonics here that are worth a lot more. Plus 25 plus 25% damage, but then one less continue. Ooh. Champagne. That's an interesting thought. I'd probably equip this in specific places where it would make sense. That I'm unlikely to die, but doing more damage would help. Do I need 2 more black tonics? Not really. Because I never use those secret skills. I just never do. So I think I've got it set as much as I want.
The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job.
So let's go ahead and change the scrap musket and leave the hammer as it is. The reason I want the scrap musket is I'd like to run into like 10 of these Was that a vigil unlocked already? I'm not sure.
Some of them squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins.
So you do get some XP on the brand tonics if you roll full on them. Sorry, but you're gone.
That one was Maud, the tutor. Once taught the kid good manners. He never used them, though. An old ferry barge sends the kid on his way. The Bastion's real close now. Takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did. Robs a scumbag on his last meal. Kid puts him out of his misery.
So overpowered. Now, after we get the core here,
he finds the core to the wharf district.
Jump off and land on the Bastion, but there's reason to keep going.
He steals the city's heart. Might as well.
So what we want to do is get extra.
Kid has a feeling he's gonna get a move on. The place is starting to fall.
So we want to try and get as many.
You see, that core Kid took was the only thing making this particular rock stay afloat. Kid just keeps running. Somersaulting like crazy.
Now we don't have hopscotch. Was that one of the options? Because we did get that as a game. So I took some damage there. But attacking
at last, the Skyways in sight.
Which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm safe here. We can sit here and just watch it. We made it.
Whisks him where he needs to go.
Unfortunately...
Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to check.
Did anybody else survive?
Hopscotch or not. Because I need to unlock the shrine first.
Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me.
So, look at this. He certainly... They say in the story that having white hair is a rarity. And they certainly look like Rux here could be an older version of him. That some kind of story, I don't know what the story would be, allowed him to live to a late time and then become an old man and then somehow go back in time and release it. So maybe in the first of the cycle, before the very first game we played started, he invented the Bastion far in the future and then went back in time to just now when the Calamity happens and he needs more cores to go back into the past, but he doesn't remember it. Or maybe he invented the Bastion far in the future, went back to before the Calamity, reset everything as we did in the first game, and when he reset everything, he forgot that he was actually from the future and this kid. That would make some sense, but you need a lot more story to explain any of that.
We talk for a spell. There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest, enough to point the way to the cores.
I'd like to see a Bastion too. I think you could do more with the story.
All I tell him is to set that core of his on the monument there.
I think
then watch.
Both endings allow for a sequel, and
I try to let the kid down gently. This is the Bastion, alright. Except no one else showed up.
I think the gameplay allows for more. And not just like a patch, you can do a straight up Bastion 2 plot.
And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again, growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown.
I will say though, that they need to put a little bit more story.
Bastion ain't gonna build itself. Well, not entirely.
So, this is like a trees floating on a switch, full of course. Yeah, they need to give more story. There's a lot of dialogue in this game, but not enough story to really explain.
Kid ponders what to build.
What's gonna go. So we can build anything we want, but we only get one chance at first. And so the shrine is the right answer. The one that's very fun. If I build the distillery, I'll change my spirits, but that's not important. If I build the memorial, I can get some fragments, but that's not important until you have the forge. If I build the arsenal, I can change my weapons. Not really that important at the moment. And the lost and found is about the least important one. It's the shrine.
Behold the Pantheon.
Okay. So now we've unlocked the last two gods. I don't think we could have played them in the first playthrough. Foes shall never yield health tonics or black tonics.
Rothus.
Cautions foes will be strong. For a 10 fragment increase and 10 XP% increase, you never get health or black tonics. That's pretty bad. Foes shall sometimes turn to air unable to be hit. So,
Oleg.
that's 10% and 10%. That's pretty hard to. So what we want to do is the ones that we think we can do. Foes will go quicker to move and to strike.
Pith.
We can do Pith. Resistance physical harm, we can do that one. Slow us down.
Lemaine.
Vengeance.
Akobi.
They'll be
Hensa.
stronger. That's fine.
Udrig.
That's fine.
Messia.
That's fine. So I don't want them to deflect them. The only ones I'm not willing to try are Garmouth, where they'll deflect attacks on a whim, Olak, where they won't be able to hit sometimes, and Rothus, where they shall never give us health tonics or black tonics. If I turn all of those
Garmouth.
on, the maximum we could have would be 75% extra fragments and XP. But I'm liking this. This maybe will mess us up. Maybe you will see in the next episode that we have to turn some of these down because maybe the combination of all of these will make it too difficult. And I imagine throughout the game we will have to turn some of this down. I don't think I'll get all the way to the end with these on.
The gods never liked competing for people's affections.
Yeah. You're supposed to only pick one. That's what he's indicating. So that's our first
Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. The Skyway. Now the kid can ride the wind to distant lands.
So, we did the Wharf District. Let's hear what he has to say.
The Wharf District. Folks sail deep into the boundless sea from here.
Alright, so we are going to...
The Bastion. Caelandia's safe haven. Once the highest point in the city. Too bad it wasn't finished before the Calamity struck.
Pretty much, we're gonna unlock a proving ground. Now that I've played the game through once and now remember it, we're gonna unlock a proving ground almost every level. So let's do them. Let's do them now and get them out of the way. It should be very easy to do them, and I should get like the first one on all of them except for the Bullhead Court.
The Breaker Barracks. Many straight shooters learn their way here.
I don't know if I'm gonna do any better or worse on the Bullhead Court.
The Breakers used to come here for target practice. Used to play a little game. See who could bust the most targets and the fewest shots.
I also don't know if this Breaker has been modified in the right way.
He's focused. He's armed. And he's off. A perfect shot just happens in a flash.
So that was 4. So now all I need to do is line up the shadows. Here, don't even bother with the power shot. Just do this in, work our way. Take our sweet time on it. Could we do this in 4 shots? I don't see how we could. Here we go.
He's feeling real proud of that show.
Claim your prizes before you go. Something stringy, something this, and the Breaker volley. So could I reset now? I probably could, but that would be my last opportunity to ever do this one.
I almost don't believe it when he says he passed the Breaker's challenge.
On the first try.
Ain't always much to say.
So when we get the forge, we're gonna have more than enough upgrade material to upgrade everything. Next episode we will take on the Workman Ward, and we'll see if I can get it done with all of those invoked gods. Let's see. Maybe we can use this bluster cannon, and hopefully that will get that vigil done. We never got it done, or did we get it done? I think we did get it done actually last time, but I want to get it done again. I want to get as many fragments as possible. And when we get the lost and found, remember, we don't really need to buy the upgrade things. We don't, I think, need to buy the tonics unless they're new tonics, and we kind of don't need to buy the skills. So we're going to heavily put all of our fragments into just upgrading the last bits of our weapons. So if we were ever going to do a New Game Plus 3rd time in a row, we'd probably start off with everything upgraded at maximum. We could probably invoke all the gods and take out the entire game like that. But it seems a little silly to do it that way. We might as well start a score attack mode and work on that. But those were modes that weren't unlocked until after you beat the game the first time. Score attack mode, I still kind of feel like it should have been integrated into the first game. Just let people go and play the levels again. But I see the point in what they're trying to do. That this is definitely a game where they wanted you to play through it twice. And that's a little old-fashioned for video games. Most people, a lot of people don't even make it to the end of games, of a lot of games, let alone play them through twice. But, so that's an old-fashioned way of thinking for video games. But it's a cool way, every now and then, to do it like that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. We're starting again. And this time we're going to make some different decisions where we can. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me through fan funding, click on my name, Rydo. That'll take you to my main YouTube page. On the right there is a button that says support this channel. Click there. Any amount you donate will be greatly appreciated. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Google+, or friend me on Steam or Battle.net, all that information is down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.